They're now reacting to other content creators reacting to the letter from the chairman. What is this slideshow, Disco? They told me to put him on the TV. So I put him on the TV. I don't know, dude. That's what they said, so I did it.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
And I'm Chris Roberts.
Well, Chris Roberts is in fact alive. We just got given the newest letter from the chairman. This is a letter that's written by Chris Roberts and talks about the state of the game and the company as it stands.
You could tell he just showered for this video because the dripping from his beard is still on his shirt.
And this one might be the most important one that we've seen yet. It's quite a long one, so we're going to go through it, talk about some of the things, and I'm going to share my opinions on some of the stuff that Chris brings up. The letter starts with a year in review. In this, Chris talks about how the company has tried to overcome COVID, especially within the past year. He talks about the trends that he's seen in the industry where people haven't been transitioning back into the office and the delays that has caused. If any company knows about delays, it's CIG. So because of that, they've been working towards a global flexi hours schedule, but their focus is definitely on returning people to the office. He also goes on to talk about all of the features that were released in Star Citizen in 2021. He does a quick recap of each patch that was released within the last year and talks about just how much content is now in Star Citizen. He talks about the success of the dynamic missions, Orison, the gas clouds, medical gameplay, looting, bombing, personal inventory, and they're very successful.
So he broke this down definitely better than I did, because I was like, oh, the first two parts, he called that content. But then, obviously, like, post 315, a lot has changed.
Successful attempt at reducing crashes.
I can't stop looking at the shirt drips either. A very important thing that
he talks about is that in the end half of 2021, apparently, Star Citizen was more popular than it had ever been before. Both the amount of new players joining into the game and the amount of active players in the game skyrocketed. According to his own words, 317 is seeing over 2,000 new players a day, and their daily active users has grown over 50% since December 2020. He also mentions, of course, they were very, very close to the $500 million total revenue. He then goes back and has a little bit of a reflection of many of the issues CIG have had in the past. Missed deadlines, missed products, but always coming back to the support of the community. Many that have financially supported Star Citizen do not care about profits or quarterly earnings. They just want the best and biggest game possible, one that lives up to their expectations and dreams. While that is no small task, it is something that is far easier for myself and everyone at CIG to put all of our effort into, as it is a privilege to be challenged artistically and supported financially in this matter. And I'm immensely grateful to have so many people put so much faith in all of us.
Currently is bugged, so you can't turn it off.
Nothing really that I could disagree with, honestly. I have been saying for a little while now that last year seems like it was by far the best year in Star Citizen. And it's good to see that the growth of the player base is now arriving. But next up, we have some real big news. Chris starts off the next section by talking about 3.0, the last major patch in Star Citizen, almost 5 years ago. And the reason he is talking about that is it looks like we really are on the cusp of 4.0. That's right, server meshing. Coming. If you don't know what server meshing is, basically it is the fundamental thing that will turn Star Citizen into an MMO. Get out of your ship, log off, your ship is still there when you log back in. Crash your ship, the wreck of the ship is still there when you log back in. Throw a gun on the floor, fly away for 2 years, come back, the gun is there. Now the
probably not the case that last one.
Problem has always been, sure, we could do that, but the game would run terribly. Server meshing and all of the properties surrounding.
Also, sure, we could do that. I'm not sure we could do that in CryEngine was a thing either, but okay.
It have been the most important roadblock for Star Citizen. A big part of that is persistent entity streaming. Chris Roberts goes on to say, it fundamentally changes how we record state in the universe and delivers a level of persistence that you just don't see in other games, whether they are MMOs or even single player experiences. Attached in the document is a road to persistent entity streaming roadmap, and it's quite large, so let's go through it really quickly. The graph goes through everything that they've done since roughly 2018 to go towards the goal of server.
What's funny, I never looked at this graph once. This is not for people like me. I never looked at the graph once. First off, no dark mode. Agreed. Second, I don't care where we came from or where we're going. I just care about when we get there. But I'll read it eventually, I think.
There's a lot of descriptions underneath about what everything here means. We're mostly going to be looking at the top.
When it comes to server meshing, when it comes to persistence, it's not like a design document about how you're going to play the game, really. It's just one of those things that is just going to work, and you're not going to notice it working eventually. Like, we're going to notice it for a while, I'm sure, because we've never had the experience like that, but it's one of those things that is like, it's in the background. It's not a career that you're playing in game. It's not owning land. It's not, well, it's not going to work initially, you know? But yeah, stop pausing. Listen, if you wanted to watch this Kranzi video, you should have done it yourself. All right.
We are today. Very recently, persistent streaming was integrated.
That's just for the pause complainers. All right. I'm just pausing now for you pause complainers. And again, I'm reacting to this, so I'm going to give my opinions here as well. And I don't care if you don't like them, all right?
And very soon, it looks like we will be getting the first build on PTU for persistent streaming. With 3.18 arriving a little bit later than normal, we'll get to that soon, persistent streaming should be arriving this year.
Not later than normal. Pretty much exactly when we would get it normally.
And it seems like on this roadmap, they look to have server meshing ready, at least for some player builds, at the end of this year, start of next year. Their main goal is next year to just be improving these replication layers. The most important part about this section about server meshing is when Chris Roberts says this. I am happy to report, after 16 months of extremely focused work by 18 engineers, 3 dedicated QA, and 4 producers spread between CRG and Turbulent, that the team were able to demonstrate persistent entity streaming working last week in our weekly internal persistent universe update meeting.
That is
He
such
goes on
a
to
big
explain
deal.
exactly how they showed that it worked, including doing some stuff in the verse, completely killing the client and the server, bringing it back up, and all of those items still be there. I know the magic word has always been server meshing is coming soon.
Ravier, good morning.
But we act.
What is that exactly? Yeah, okay. So you understand. It is the persistence tech, but then I don't know if Kranzi is going to go into it as well, but the fact that they explained how much of server meshing is the persistence thing, it's quite wild.
Actually,
I'm sure he'll
get
touch
to
on it.
see progress now. All we've ever gotten from CRG is server meshing is coming. Don't worry. We got a little bit of an explanation on how the back end of it works, but we never heard anything about the tech itself, and now it works. Now, obviously, once again, we're still in early stages, but in the grand scheme of things, we're not. We're kind of reaching an end goal here. So hopefully progress continues.
Reaching
server
a pillar
meshing
for sure,
continues to
yeah.
be worked on quickly, and
Persistence has been a pillar at CitizenCon demos for 4 years, I think.
we get to get Pyro soon. Now, a little bit unfortunate, a little bit good stuff. Because of this new
Maybe
tech,
longer?
3.18 is going to be pushed. The reason for this is both Cargo Refactor and the salvage gameplay loop were designed with persistent entity streaming in mind. So right now, 3.18 is going to be pushed to PTU likely at the end of Q3 this year. But we will be getting a 3.17.2 in July. And according to Chris, it'll have new missions, new locations, and other gameplay. The reason this is also kind of good news is there was a lot of speculation that there was no chance we were going to get both cargo and salvage in 3.18. One of them had to be dropped. Doesn't look like that's the case anymore. In fact, it looks like we might be getting a little bit extra stuff.
Yes, but that's like pure copium because it's not 3.18. It got delayed, so it's essentially 3.19 or 3.18.1 or whatever. So it's like yes, but no. But yes, we're getting so much more. And I don't care about the timeline of it. It doesn't matter. It matters that it works. And it matters that it's like done well. It doesn't matter when it comes. It matters that it's done well when it does.
stuff, maybe. Hold your breath. And as a little bit extra, those of you that know about Gen 12 Renderer and Vulkan will be happy to know that apparently they're going to bring majority of that online with 3.18. This means better performance, better looking graphics. Can't argue with that. 3.18 is looking to be an enormous patch. I know that 4.0 is supposed to be when Pyro/server meshing comes out, but 3.18 itself is kind of its own 4.0. We then go to talk on specifically server meshing and 4.0. Now, if you've been following Star Citizen all, you know that 4.0 is supposed to be the patch where Pyro releases. But we've been told Pyro won't release until server meshing is ready. They're one and the same. Following the roadmap, we know that Pyro is borderline complete. The planet's the...
Bro, Luigi is how I feel right now. I don't know about you guys, but I feel just like Luigi. I'm so tired. I stayed up all night making my own video like this. I feel just like Luigi, dude. What about you guys?
The foliage, missions are in progress, but they want server meshing ready before bringing Pyro into the PU. Well, as I was just talking about, persistent entity streaming is working, which means server meshing is not very far behind. So, according to Chris, as long as there's no major issues with PES, we're going to see Pyro Q4 this year, probably Q1 next year. Chris says, once server meshing starts to see real-world testing with thousands of players in PTU, we will get a better idea of how much time it will need to cook in PTU before it can make its way to live. We are aiming for the end of Q1 2023, but again, we really will not know with confidence until it hits testing. All of this means the release schedule this year of patches is going to be a little bit different to what it has been in the last 3 years. We're still getting some major patches, and we're still getting Invictus and IAE, but 3.18 really is going to be the cornerstone patch of this year. In fact, it sounds like there's not going to be a 3.19 at all. It sounds like we're going to be going from 3.18 to 4.0. Now, of course, CRG
it does
have
sound
a
that
history. Removing...
But I think we'll probably get like a 3.18.1 and a 3.18.2 or whatever.
Pushing patches, all of that stuff. But I have never seen them this...
Hey, Attila Killa, this is like the only exception, just so you know. I'm sure you know that you shouldn't say when other streamers are live on Twitch, but Space Cutlet is live, everybody. He is in Lviv, I think, in Ukraine. He is live on Twitch. Very exciting. I'm going to be getting off stream relatively soon, and we were absolutely going to be hosting him.
This confident about getting something out. Of course, it's still CRG. Maybe push everything 6 months. But I think 3.18 is going to be impressive.
Oh, he's in
And
Kyiv?
I think 4.0 we won't see this year, but the start of next year we're going to be in Pyro. Away from the gameplay stuff, we move over to what's happening with the company. Some of you may know that CRG have begun to expand, and they've created offices in both Manchester and Frankfurt. These offices are still underway, but within the letter itself, we can see a couple of pictures of the work in progress. And based on these pictures, in my opinion, they're probably not too far away from moving in, maybe a couple of months. He talks a little bit about the amount of staff they have right now. Chris says, today we have 780 people on staff, plus an extended family of over 130 working closely with us at Turbulent in Montreal, with many more that will join us in the
Does David Swafford still work there?
coming months. We have a 7-person global talent acquisition team that focuses exclusively on trying to hire the best talent possible for CRG. In 2022, we will continue to grow in all departments, increasing our headcount to approximately 840 and bring us closer to release for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. If you had told me the first time that I had ever heard about the Star Citizen Kickstarter, that they would have 840 employees, I'd maybe believe you. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but it's super cool. There's also...
What if I told you they would have 800 employees in 2022 and not have more than one star system, just starting salvaging, no exploration, no Squadron 42? Yeah, there's a lot of things you wouldn't believe.
Also a small mention of them considering changing the location of the Austin studio and the LA studio as well. The next big thing is CitizenCon. Now, CitizenCon is the largest Star Citizen gathering every single year towards the last quarter. It is usually the way that CRG show us the best and coolest things that they've been working behind the scenes. Unfortunately, during this letter, they reveal that CitizenCon will once again not be physical this year, due to things happening in the world, as well as this big push towards Squadron 42 and server meshing. This means there will be no keynote gameplay demo, which is really sad, because the one last year was really, really cool. But at the same time, if it means 4.0 comes out sooner, awesome, cool. Going to Pyro in the PTU will be my gameplay demo. Now, they still will be doing a Citizen Con, but apparently with a heavier...
What is wrong with having a PTU that has different content than live for a long time? What is wrong with trying to get those things up and running? What is wrong with that? I've never really understood that. I think at times, like, you can't stay for super, super long. But the idea of it maintaining a happy live server, if players want to make progress towards the spaceship or don't want to experience as many server crashes and don't want to play the bleeding edge content in Star Citizen yet until it's ready. Like, Chris kind of implied that this was like just a special 2022 thing. I hope it's not.
Focus on the community. The end of this year, after all, is the 10-year anniversary of Star Citizen. There will still be panels and presentations from developers, and so we are still going to be getting shared a fair bit of progress about the games. Just don't expect a real big flashy video. And possibly the most interesting part of the chairman's letter, a mention of Squadron 42, in that there's no mention of Squadron 42. Chris says, and as I noted back in my December 2020 letter, we are still going to be quiet on Squadron 42 until it is time to start the release campaign. And we are not quite there yet. Know that progress is coming along nicely, but we're not quite ready to pull the curtain back on Squadron just yet. No news is...
Okay, listen, we're not quite ready. Like, when he said, we're not quite ready, it was just like, shut up, dude. Just
news,
shut
right?
up.
Or news about no news is good news. What? Chris then goes to talk on a little bit about bar citizens. Bar citizens are smaller gatherings of Star Citizens across the globe. There's going to apparently be some special bar citizens centered around the locations that the developers are, and they want to start International Bar Citizen Day. Apparently there'll be some more information about those on Spectrum.
That was weird.
Chris
I think it's
finishes
really
off
good
the
idea.
entire letter, talking about just how important every single one of the devs are,
Detox? Is
as
that
well
you?
as the players, the community. Without these, there would be no Star Citizen, no Squadron 42, and no Cloud Imperium games. As we move closer to achieving the critical milestones out...
Wait. It's IBS Day. IBS Day, dude.
outlined above, we cannot help but feel an immense amount of appreciation.
Wait, it's IBC. You can't spell and I fell for it.
For each and every one of you who shares in the collective dream of Star Citizen. The path ahead is more vibrant than ever, but in some ways the collective journey together, the moments and fun that people have along the way as we build Star Citizen together, is as rewarding as the ultimate destination. And that is what makes this game and community special. Star Citizen is headed for a major milestone, and I think Chris has done a really, really good job of telling us that concisely, as he...
Concisely in a 50-page letter from the chairman?
Could. It's quite a few words.
Yeah.
We're at the stage where we're seeing the game come to fruition. Just ask every single new player that's joining the game in 3.17. I bet half of them don't even know who Chris Roberts is. I'm looking forward to the next year. I hope you guys are too. If you have any comments about what happened in this letter from the chairman, make sure to put them in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when I'm making another video. And yeah, I'm excited. I'll see you guys in the verse.
Croncy, thank you, man. Let me link this so you guys can check out his channel and subscribe and everything. He does stream on Twitch, I think at the exact same time I do. He's probably live now. I think he's like definitely one of the better options as far as this time zone goes for Twitch streamers in the Star Citizen directory. So if you haven't checked out Croncy yet, you really, really should. You know, he's one of he's not just watching other YouTube videos on his stream. He's actually playing the game. I usually see him online when I'm going offline, and he seems like he's up for a little while. So I don't think he's quite on my time zone, but he's at least somewhere near it. So yeah, so if you're looking for another option besides me, which you definitely should, check out his Twitch stream.